Hey, what's good, everybody? Today I just want to go over with everyone a method that I've come up with to wash a car and get a 100%, I'm talking 100% swirl free finish every time. Now, I'm not saying that this wash is to be used in every circumstance. It's more for something that, like, you get a brand new car and you know it's perfect and you want to keep it that way, or you've just had your car corrected and you want to keep it that way, you know. But like, I wouldn't necessarily use this method if I'm going to correct a car. You know, granted, you don't really want to wash it in a way where you're going to create more swirls and scratches, because scratches inside of scratches make for deeper scratches and it's harder to remove. So what got me basically onto this way of thinking was about in 2006, I bought this. Now you guys are probably thinking, what in the heck is this? Now, a long time ago, Lake Country used to have this mitt, and I had a black Trans Am, and this mitt did a really good job of keeping it swirl free, and the only problem was it's just a little bit bulky, so it would get real heavy. Now this one is super soft. Trying to zoom in on the pores here, and this one is kind of more for like the glass and scrubbing harder things. It's a little bit more aggressive. I didn't really use it too terribly often, you know, but since they don't make this anymore, the one thing that you definitely need, and it's going to be kind of controversial because I know a lot of detailers and all that out there, they don't agree with using this. And here it is. This is just a plain grout sponge from Home Depot. I believe the brand is QEP, or maybe it's DEP. I don't remember 100%, but it comes in a single like this, or you can get a pack of 3 or 4, I believe. I'm going to go over with you on how to do this and how to use it so that you can have a swirl-free finish on your car on how you wash it. And these are just some of the other tools that I use that you don't necessarily need. This glove I got at AutoZone. You can use it for like door jambs and wheels. These brushes over here, you can use, they're really soft. Not super soft, but you know, soft enough. You can use them on wheels, wheel wells, fenders, things like that. This here, I got this at Walmart. It's a bug sponge, and I used to not really like them, but I gave this one a try, and I actually really like it because when you run your finger over it, it's pretty smooth for the most part, and but it does a really good job of taking off the bugs and not really scratching it. This here is just a Dawn, it's like a wine glass type cleaner. It works really good for door jambs, inside the wheel barrels, things like that. I've been using it a long time. This one, I've got other ones, and I've got like some that are like a purplish color that I've been also trying out. We have wheel woolies. This one I've had for a really long time. They work great, but sometimes they're just a little bit too big and things like that. Tough Shine brush. Everybody needs a Tough Shine brush for tires and mats and things like that. Now this is a Greedo's Garage finger pocket. I like to use this on the wheels. Does a really good job of, you can get behind the spokes and things like that. This brush is just a generic detail brush that I got off of eBay. It's really fat. I use it for engine detailing, things like that. Then we have a Detail Factory small brush, pretty good for you know, getting around emblems and things like that. Smaller wheel woolly, you know, just for smaller intricate areas. This brush here, it's just, you know, a little generic paintbrush. You can get them for like 10 cents at Walmart, and you can really get inside the lug nut areas. This I got off of eBay in a 3-pack for like $2. It's like the same basic idea as this, but what I like about this is sometimes there's like super tight areas to get it into, that this one just seems to work really well in. As far as drying the car, I used to be a really big fan, and I still am, of the absorber. I know a lot of people, you know, talk about all these specific drying towels and things like that, but if you wash your car 100% right, you will not have any problem drying your car with an absorber. And an alternative to that is, I found these Aqua Dries, which they had them in the car section at Walmart, and they're only $5, which the absorbers like can run you like between 10 and 13, and this works just as good. It's basically the exact same thing. I would say that the absorbers are just a tad bit better, but yeah. Also, with the grout sponge, if you feel that it's like a little bit too big and bulky, you can cut them in half. You can cut them really small. You can cut them into little cubes. I've done that for wheels and things like that. It works really good. Also, the next part of this setup is pretty much any soap will do, but any soap will do. If it's not like the best soap, you could just use a little bit more. And I know that, you know, that might be a little bit controversial, but it seems to work for me. Also, I have a foam cannon. You don't necessarily need a foam cannon to do this process. You can do it with just the bucket and the sponge. But I do like to use the foam cannon to basically cover the whole car and then perform this wash method. Over here I have my pressure washer, which is the Greenworks 1600 PSI. Now, one thing that I did do is I bought a second hose, and this was the brand at Home Depot that I got, and it came with another hose. This one is a, how long is this? 25-foot hose. So with the cord that it came with, which I believe was also a 25-foot, I have 50-foot length of hose. I did have to purchase this little washer kit, because when I hooked them together, it was leaking. It was like dripping, just a little drop here and there. But leaks are sort of my pet peeve, so I went and bought this, and the black O-ring that was on one of the hose was just a little bit too small, and I replaced it with the blue one and put it together, and now it doesn't leak at all. So here's this with the hose, and let me just show you guys how long I have with this hose. So here I am. I'm out in the street, you know, from where that is. This is plenty to work your way around the car. It's amazing. So let me get a few things set up, and I will get started on the wash process. But what we're gonna work on, and I know it's in the sun, but I wanted to get it in the sun to show you guys. It, you know, kind of rained and snowed a few days ago here in Colorado, and we drove this, and it's pretty dirty. Now, I've had this car since brand new, and it's never been polished. I've only done this wash method, and it is 100% swirl free. And after this wash method, I'll show you guys, you know, that it still is. And the reason why that's good is because you don't want to always put swirls in. If you can keep that down to a minimum of putting in scratches and swirls, you won't need to polish your car. And if you don't polish your car, you're not going to remove clear coat. And the more clear coat that you can keep on the car, the shinier it's going to look and the longer it's going to last. If you have a car that you really care about, you know, like a you know, exotic or something or other, you know, this is going to be the way to go. It's not hard. It just takes a little bit of discipline, and it doesn't take that much longer than any other way. Now this is the bucket that I've got set up here. We'll put our soap in real quick. So I'm just going to use this Rain-X soap. It's nothing really special about it. It's not the best I've ever used, and it's not the worst I've ever used, but I like to use a lot of soap, so when I can get soap cheap, I just go with that. So I'm going to use about that much. And depending on what you guys like to do, you know, you don't have to follow this exact way, but that's just the way I do it. So I'm going to pause you guys and we'll come back here in a second. Okay, we've got everything set up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put some suds in the bucket here. Okay, I've got that good. All right, so now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a rinse. Also, another thing, I don't know if you can see me, but like what I'm wearing. Pay attention to what I'm wearing. I'm not wearing any kind of jeans, you know. I'm wearing a t-shirt and these type of shorts that they don't necessarily look the best, but as far as, you know, detailing and cleaning a car, they're not going to scratch anything. If I need to lean up against the, you know, to get the roof good, you know, nothing that I'm wearing is going to scratch the car, and that's something that, you know, maybe try to, if you didn't think about that before, maybe take that into account. You know, so next we've got it rinsed down, and I'm just going to do this section just to show you because it is in the sun. Got my foam cannon here. Let's see if it's set up. We'll get it all foamed up. Now, you can either, you know, let that sit and rinse it off again, which is fine, it's fine, or you can, you know, get right to work. So what I do, you know, you take your grout sponge, very spot on. So dunk it, we just kind of wring it out, so like it'll hold a lot of soap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start, and I'll just start on the paint first, but I'm going to start from the top. I'm going to do one swipe, and then you're going to squeeze out one swipe, and then you're going to squeeze one swipe, and you're going to squeeze. Now when we get towards the bottom, it's going to be a little bit dirtier, okay? You're just going to squeeze, swipe. Okay, so now you can see some of that. You're just going to squeeze that out, okay? Now we'll dunk the sponge again. I'm going to go on the very bottom. Now this is where it's going to be the dirtiest. Okay, see this right there? So then all you do is you just squeeze it out, and that's perfectly clean. So now what you're doing is, if you have the discipline to just do one swipe and wring it out, you're minimizing surface contact. You're minimizing the amount of times that you contact the surface with the wash mitt and potential dirt or whatever could be on the paint. So, you know, a lot of people, when I see them washing a car and they say, oh, start from the top and work your way to the bottom. Well, they do that, and I see them going, you know, like this, and they get to the bottom, but then, you know, they'll come back up to the top and do the same thing. And that's what's creating a lot of swirls and stuff. This way, you're minimizing that surface contact by doing it this way. So let me show you again here on a different section. I'll move over here. So So we'll do one swipe, squeeze out, one swipe, squeeze out, flip to this side, one side, bring it out, swipe, bring it out, swipe. This one's got quite a bit. Bring it out. See, you can see that? I hope you can. Move this a little bit. Swipe. Get towards the bottom where it's always the dirtiest. There we go. You just squeeze that out. This here is, I don't know what that is. It's a little bit of a stain, but I'm not really using that. All right, so now we'll rinse this off. Okay. All right, we've got that rinsed. Let me just dry it really quick using the Aqua Dry. Okay. Let me take this off here. Okay. Hopefully. Okay, everybody. I just finished washing, rinsed it all off. So now I'm going to use my Aqua Dry towel or absorber if you like, and I'm just going to dry it off. And now I just want to show you there's no dark spots. Now you should be using your drying media as a gauge. If you go to dry it and you notice some areas that are turning up dark on your towel, then that means you didn't wash it well enough. And you know, that's okay. It's just something to try to keep getting better and better next time. So I was, you know, I love these things because you can dry the vehicle so quick. And like I said, I mean, if you've washed it and you're confident that you washed it really good, you don't get those black marks and stuff, you know, on your towel. And then going back to the wash method, I'm trying to capture the sun here. I don't know if that's working, but I mean, there's no swirls in this paint, you know? There's absolutely no swirls in this paint. And it's perfect. I mean, this method has worked for me for a long time, and I'm finally now just, you know, wanting to share it, you know. I know that there's probably going to be a lot of people giving me crap, you know, saying that sponges are bad and all that, but I disagree. You know, I challenge you guys to try it. You know, maybe do one side of your car, like correct it, do one side of your car with your normal stuff and how you do it, and then try my method on the other side and see which one, you know, stays swirl free longer. But I guarantee mine's gonna be a swirl free finish, you know? I mean, I can't tell you guys enough. I'm trying to get the sun to hit it. But I'm telling you, I mean, these things just dry. And that one, and it's still a little wet, but when it's a little cold out, they kind of do that. When it's hot out, these things work perfect. And I got a lot of water in it. But I challenge you guys to try it. And there's no swirls anywhere on this thing. So, anyway. I mean, just to recap, you know, I mean, it's just minimizing, you know, surface contact, and just being disciplined enough to flush your sponge out, and only use the sponges from Home Depot, the grout sponges. Every other sponge will scratch. That is the only one I found that does not. So anyway, I mean, I don't know. Doesn't get any more swirl free than this, sir. So now, like I said, I've never polished this car before. It sits outside, and I've washed it like this every time, and this is what I've got. Absolutely perfect. Anyway, thank you guys, and have a nice day.